Hello everybody, it's MCB here and welcome to a new video. In this video, I'll be teaching you everything you need to know about the Placeholder API Spigot plugin. So, first of all, what is Placeholder API or PAPI? So it's a plugin that allows server owners to display information from various plugins in a uniform format. So as you can see here, here's one example in a hologram, and you can see it says for playing. So this is actually taking from a placeholder expansion. It's the amount of players who are playing in that server, and it's just returning it. You can also see over here for TNT Run, which is a plugin that we're using in the game mode. And you can see for this particular arena, it's taking the amount of players and displaying it, and then the actual status of the arena, it's also displaying that too. And here's another great example of where you might want to use it. So this is displaying as a hologram the balances of the players who are playing in the game. Now, something you can see here is that most placeholders just return without any special color codes. So what you can actually do is you can put a color code before it to customize it. So that's why this can be yellow, this can be gold, this can be green, red, and yellow. So placeholders can be used in a variety of situations. You can see here that this is a hologram, this is in a menu. It can be pretty much put anywhere where it's supported. And that definitely depends on if the plugin does support it, but a lot of things do because it's very common to use PAPI, or for server owners to use it. So plugins want to support it. So how does it work? So server plugins and PAPI expansions register their placeholders, and then PAPI will recognize that and change it before it's sent to a player, and sent as in the packet of the hologram or like deluxe menu text, whatever it might be. Placeholders have percentage signs around them. So here's a good example of that. You can see if PAPI wasn't on the server, you can see this is %player_name %. This is from a player expansion from PAPI. And when the plugin is on there and the expansion is added, you can see it's actually returning my username. One important thing to note here is that it does change per player, so other players aren't going to see RexText3000, they would see their username. Some things are kind of common, so like as we saw before, the for playing, this is just going to return the same way. However, some things do change based upon how the developer made it and like what the actual placeholder is. So why would you want to use it? Well, PAPI is pretty much a must-have plugin because it enables you to easily insert information throughout your server. So as you saw in the other examples, there's the different. I'll show it off in game here. You can see it has the different players playing. You can see in the tab list, you can see my rank and different statuses like plus. That's a rank Gustavo has. This is just all this information is being pulled from placeholders. So the actual admin and owner and stuff like that, that's actually being pulled from LuckPerms, but LuckPerms integrates with Placeholder API so that can return. So it's really useful. You can instantly see the use case for it or why you'd want to use it. It's really awesome. All right. So where can you get it? So if you want to download Placeholder API, please go to the official Spigot page. It is by the user called HelpChat, and you can tell it's the official one. It has all kinds of ratings, and yeah, it's honestly really great. And if you want to read up more on it, I do highly suggest you go through their wiki. All right, so where can I find placeholders? Well, like I just mentioned, the Placeholder API wiki is a very good place to go. Here's an example, a screenshot of what that looks like, where it has different categories. Some of them are for the expansions, and others of them are for actual plugins that integrate with PAPI, and they've said, hey, can you put my stuff on your wiki? So what do I mean by expansions? So let's get into the PAPI eCloud. eCloud is actually really awesome. So many useful placeholder expansions can be downloaded through PAPI's eCloud with one command. However, many developers do choose to hardcode their plugins, placeholders into their plugins, so no eCloud download is needed. So these expansions are provided by the Placeholder API developers through their eCloud service, and it's basically just a one-stop shop for downloading things. So some of the things on the eCloud are made by the developers of Placeholder API. Other things are actually just expansions by developers who are integrating with it. But most of them don't want to go through that process of being like, okay, I made an expansion, and players have to download the expansion afterwards. A lot of them now just integrate the Placeholder API support in their plugin. So once the plugin is on the server, people don't have to go and download a separate expansion, even though it is really easy to. So that's one thing that can kind of get confusing. I guess a good use case, or not a use case, but a good example of this is in our TNT Run server. So we use a TNT Run plugin by this awesome developer. His name is Steve, and he actually had originally had an expansion, and this TNT Run expansion was in the eCloud. However, he later switched it so that the expansion was deprecated, and that he actually had the placeholder support built into his plugin. And I've seen on his Discord multiple times where people are saying, hey, I downloaded the expansion and it didn't work. And he had to explain to them, oh, hey, I switched that, so it's not actually something you need to download through the eCloud, it's actually built in. So that's one thing that can kind of get confusing, and you want to look out for that. But typically the developer is just going to say, okay, it's built in or it's not. So here's an example of the TNT Run, our TNT Run server. You can see we're using quite a few of the expansions. So another thing we're using is Deluxe Chat. You can see hello, and you can see that's Deluxe Chat, and it is actually using an expansion for it to work. So yeah. Okay, useful commands. This is where it kind of gets fun. So let's go back in to the hub server so we have a more scenic view. Whoa, hello. That window just went flying. Okay, so the first useful command I want to show you is Parse. So Parse basically allows you to parse the placeholder as somebody. So it could be yourself, or it could be as another player. So I'm going to do Pappy, which is the thing for it, or you could type out the whole thing, Placeholder API, but it's very easy just to say Pappy. Pappy parse me, and then an actual placeholder with the percentage signs. So let's do player name. You can see Rex Text 3000 was indeed returned. Now, okay, there's Gustavo. He's online somewhere. I don't know where he is on this hub, but he's somewhere here. And let's return his username. So instead of saying Pappy parse me, let's say Pappy parse Gustavo Cruz. And now you can see it's parsing as his username. So you can see that it's very easy to actually check a placeholder in game, even if you haven't added it to something such as a deluxe menu or a hologram. You can just check it with one command, nice and simple. Another thing is Pappy reload. So one of the things you will be doing, and with the eCloud, I'll show that right now, is you might be downloading things from the eCloud. So, I mean, I think we have a lot of things in this server. Let's go to a server that doesn't have a whole lot of stuff. Server test server. Okay, so this is our little test server, and I know that it doesn't have the, I don't think it has the player expansion. Let's test this. Yep, see? So if you don't have the expansion downloaded, it's not actually going to return for you. So let's showcase that. So Pappy, eCloud, download, and then the player expansion. And then you'll do the Pappy reload command, and that will re-register all the placeholders. So now if I run that again, it now returns my username. So it also reloads the configuration if you make any changes. Some of the expansions you will download will let you customize some things about how they work or how they return. So definitely you want to look into that. Another thing is Pappy list. So this is going to allow you to view the plugins and expansions hooked into Pappy. You can see here on the server we have some CMI stuff, like perms, pinger, player, other things we're testing here in our little custom hat system. You can see my nice little fedora here. So these are all things that have hooked into Placeholder API, and that can be helpful if you're debugging or trying to figure out, okay, did I actually download this or did I not? It's pretty good. There are more useful commands you can find on the wiki page for Placeholder API, and that's on their GitHub. So where can I make placeholders? So like I stated previously, most developers just kind of implement them into their plugins, and honestly it is very, very easy to just make a plugin and just integrate it with Placeholder API and then just return the information you want. But I understand that a lot of people don't want to make a whole plugin just for something, and especially if they want to make a change on the fly. And that is why you can create a JavaScript. It's called a JavaScript because these files are written in JavaScript and allows you to do all kinds of really cool stuff. So here's an example. Let's go on our hide and seek server here. So server hide. And as you can see here, we're using a lot of placeholders, but we actually use a JavaScript. So when somebody clicks on this click to join an arena, this is, they are instantly put into an arena here, and the decision system for this is actually a placeholder. I know that kind of seems like, really, what? That's a bit weird. Even though there is I think there is an automatic command in here, but we wanted it so that it would broadcast to the whole server and have a nice like JSON clickable message and all kinds of cool stuff. So we made this. So how it works, if you're interested, is we have it as an alias, and this is a little complicated here, but you can see we are checking multiple placeholders. So placeholders aren't only just used in like holograms or in menus. If it's something like this is CMI. CMI does parse the placeholders in its aliases. So we're actually using that to check placeholders and return the join message up above. And it's making some decisions using the JavaScript. So yeah, is this a little over the top for doing things? A little bit. But that's just to show you the absolute power of what you could do with the JavaScript, because you are writing JavaScript. So there, I mean, it's not like full JavaScript. You can't like integrate it with like a Node or something like that, from my understanding, you know. So you basically get a very basic implementation of JavaScript that you can use to customize placeholders. And that is actually very powerful for when it comes to just returning things, because you don't need to make your own plugin, and it's built right into Placeholder API. You don't need a separate plugin for that. So here's like a very basic example of, I think this is like get a random map, or maybe that's not a basic example. Okay, this is not a basic example at all, but this is just to show you you can get very complex with this. And honestly, if you're going to be getting this complex, you should probably do a plugin, but yeah, you can do it, is what I'm trying to show. All right, so thank you for watching. I really do hope that this video was helpful for you. Hopefully I made it quick and informative. Please leave a comment on how I can improve my future videos. I plan to cover more content and make more tutorials because I've been doing server stuff for a while now, and I feel like, I guess, sharing my knowledge on this is important because hopefully I'll help somebody, and that would be really awesome. Also, don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed. I have to say that. I'm a YouTuber, you know, CTA, call to action. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Peace out.